Hey guys, taking a step away from business today to talk about my evening routine and my morning routine. I've been super into productivity and habits for about 5 years now. And people ask me all the time, how do you do the podcast? How do you run the business? How do you have two kids, one 2 years old, one 6 weeks old? How do you have time to race your bike and have hobbies and do all that other stuff? And the answer is I am super, super efficient when I work, and I have really good habits to get a lot done before 9 a.m. when most people are completely worthless. So I'm going to explain to you exactly what I do. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. So my evening routine is super important. Nobody talks about an evening routine, but for me, the evening routine sets me up for a super productive morning, and it sets me up for really good sleep. Those are the two goals. Everybody knows how important sleep is, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about how important my morning is. Okay, as a dad, as a business owner, after 9 a.m. for me is completely unpredictable. And also as a social person with friends and a lot of things going on in the evenings and on the weekends, after 9 a.m., after 10 a.m., it's crazy. I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting pulled this direction, pulled that direction, totally unpredictable. So what I found is that any habits that are dependent on action from me after 10 a.m. don't stick around for very long. So I have to get my important but not urgent work done first thing in the morning. I have to. Okay, so when I say urgent but not, or important but not urgent, I'm talking about the long-term planning. I'm talking about the health. I'm talking about the fitness. I'm talking about all the stuff that is really making my life a lot better 5 years from now, but isn't necessarily going to show its face right now. You know I'm all about playing the long game. This is what it's all about. So my evening routine, it starts 5 p.m. A little buzzer goes off on my phone, and I drink 32 ounces of water. I fill up this cup right here, and I drink it. Why 5 p.m.? And I also take my vitamins. I got a vitamin D supplement that I take every day right before dinner, and I take a multivitamin every day. Why 5 p.m.? Well, this is the thing. If I forget to drink water at 5 p.m., I get super, super thirsty at about 8 or 8:30 p.m. And if I drink water at 8:30 p.m., it's too late. I'm going to be up all night, going to the bathroom. It's going to interrupt my sleep. So I have to get in my last big dose of water at 5 p.m. So I fill this up. Another thing that I do is I put a notepad and I sit down at the bar. I just came down from my office or got home from my office. Put a notepad on the bar and I sit in about 5 minutes of peace and I do what I call the brain dump. And this brain dump is where I am literally brainstorming anything that I think might stress me out the rest of the night. Anything that I think will draw attention from me the rest of the night. Anything that I might worry about as I'm trying to fall asleep. And I'm just making a list. It's not a to-do list. I've already made a to-do list for the week and for the day while I was at work. But this is just a stress meter. Things that are stressing me out that may need attention. And I just sit there and I focus on thinking about that and writing it all down. What it does is that really clears my head. It allows me to sleep better. It allows me to enjoy my evening better. And then it just sets me up. It starts to relax my mind for sleep. So another thing that I do right before dinner, I noticed that drinking a lot of water makes me feel so much better, makes me have more energy, makes me more healthy. So I fill this 60-ounce vacuum flask with ice first. I'll show you about how much ice I got in here. If you can see, it's about a third of the way full with ice. And then I put, room temperature faucet water in there. What that does is it completely chills the water and it keeps it cold for about 24 hours. And I take that upstairs. I'm going to show you what I do with my cycling routine. So I have two different routines. One is weight training, one is cycling. If I'm doing a cycling the next day, I use this water to fill up my water bottles, my pre-workout, my protein shake. And if I'm not, it sits on my desk and I try to drink this water before noon so that I get 60 ounces of water in before noon. All right, next thing I do is get my supplements ready in empty shaker bottles. So for my morning workout, every day I fill an empty shaker bottle with protein. This is pea protein. You can use whey protein, whatever. Notice there's no water in it. That's what the 60-ounce flask is for. So that right after my workout, right before I get in the shower, I pour some water in this and I shake it and drink it in the shower. It's seamless. This one, on my high intensity days, which is cycling, I use my pre-workout right in here. And it's empty, right? There's no water in it yet. First thing in the morning, as soon as I get out of bed, I put water in this pre-workout shake so that I can drink it right as soon as I get out of bed. So it sounds silly, but the entire goal of all of this is to reduce friction in the morning. So in the morning, I'm not that motivated, I'm groggy, I need everything ready for my every move. Okay, so on my non-high intensity days, I'm gonna set that coffee machine right there. Now, I'm gonna set it right now. I'm gonna grind my beans in that grinder, weigh them on the scale, grind in the grinder. My wife and I really like good coffee. We grind the beans fresh for our afternoon coffee with this pour over. But I'm setting this coffee machine. I'm weighing out the water. I'm putting it all in here to start at 5:30 a.m. so that by 6, when I'm done with my workout, I'm done with my shower, I come down here right. The coffee it doesn't have a hot plate. It's just long enough off the brew to where I can drink it right away, and it's ready for me. All right, so before I take you upstairs to talk about my setup up there, my literal, I'm going to set up everything in order for me to get out of bed and do this stuff. I'm going to talk to you about my morning writing routine. And every morning, right after my workout, I get out of the shower, I come down here, and I write. And the goal of this writing is to have an open mind and journal on what's happening in my life, journal on problems, journal on topics. Actually, this is where the podcast came from. Okay, this journaling, this writing habit. So at 7 p.m. the night before, my phone goes on a charger in the guest bedroom and the door is shut. So I take my phone and I'm off of it at 7 p.m. What this does is it keeps me from mindlessly browsing social media. It keeps me from checking emails to see if somebody just responded to a letter of intent that I sent on a piece of real estate. It just keeps me from getting sucked back into work or sucked back into time wasters. This has been the number one thing. If you can take anything away from this, this has been the number one thing that has allowed me to sleep so much better, wake up feeling better, and be more productive. So my phone is in the guest bedroom on airplane mode at 7 p.m. My family knows if they're going to call me, they better call my wife. She doesn't have phone addiction, so she can have her phone near her. That phone is going to stay on airplane mode until 9 a.m. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this full morning routine without any input. And that's the big part of this writing habit is my computer is sitting downstairs. The way it works is I get up, my son wakes up right after my workout. He plays in the living room while I sit at the kitchen table right over there and I write. My computer is also on airplane mode, no Wi-Fi. So I've got no email, no input, no nothing. What I do is I write a topic and I have a spreadsheet of topics that are all scheduled out, what I'm going to talk about. I mix it up all the time if I'm needing to solve a business problem or if I'm working on something that day. But I know what I'm going to write about, so I put it at the top of a Google Doc in offline mode. So that's there waiting for me. I close everything else on my computer and I shut it and I go to bed. When I wake up the next morning, it's time to write. I walk downstairs, I sit down on my computer, I open it, no email, no input, and I start journaling on that topic. It has been incredibly beneficial for me. The act of writing out my thoughts, brainstorming solutions to my problems has been incredibly valuable. If you're going to try something, try this, because having a clear head, having a head that's not cluttered by input, email, text, call, input, it's just so amazing what you can do. It's where in about 5 hours a week, I get all the content for this podcast. It's where I do my 5-year planning. Okay, I do my big brainstorm sessions on goals and how I'm going to accomplish those goals. A lot of times this averages probably 20 to 30 minutes, but sometimes it goes for 2 hours and sometimes it runs right into work and I end up having some of the most productive management work, business planning work, goal setting work that I'll have all year long. It's amazing what this time can do. So now let's talk about what I do as far as the logistics go of preparing for my morning routine. I go upstairs and if I'm cycling the next day, which is my high intensity exercise for the week, I have a race bike on a Wahoo Kicker Smart Trainer where I do a computer program that takes me through workouts. It's about 30 minutes long. When I do that, I'm going to take my cycling shorts and my cycling socks and my cycling shoes and my heart rate strap and I'm going to put them right next to my bed. Right next to my bed, so that when my alarm goes off at 5:30 a.m., I swing my feet over the side of the bed. I literally step into my shorts, and I cannot get out of bed until I put my cycling shorts on, and I put my cycling socks on, and I put my heart rate monitor on. All that is done before I even leave my room to go take a leak and brush my teeth and get ready for the morning. No phone yet. I don't wake up, roll over, check my phone. That's not my strategy. Wake up, put my clothes on. I cannot not do this because it's right there waiting for me. I walk into the bathroom and my pre-workout shake is sitting on the table next to my water. I put some water in the pre-workout, I shake it up, and I drink it while I'm taking my morning leak. Okay, so that's done. Then I walk in, step into my cycling shoes, my bike is ready, my computer's open, the app is open, the workout that I'm gonna do is on my computer screen. It's all there, totally frictionless. And when I say frictionless, this is something that James Clear uses in his book, Atomic Habits, which is a phenomenal read. And he talks about the number one thing that can make habits become habits is making them so easy that you can't not do them. And it's about reducing friction. And it's about doing the work to set up the habit in advance so that you don't have to think about it. You can go on complete autopilot and get it done. And this works. Okay, on my lifting days, I have my gym shorts, my gym shirt, my socks, my shoes, all right there in bed. I put them on before I even get out of bed. It works. It works. I'm telling you, you got to try it. So all that stuff to prepare for the morning takes about 15 minutes. It's really easy to do. I set myself up for that throughout the day even, so it's really easy. Spend some time with family. From 7 to 9 is family time. I put my son to bed. I give him a bath. I spend time with my wife. And then about 9 o'clock, I start winding down. And that's when I take my evening shower. A very quick shower, about 5 minutes. And what I do actually is, before I get in the shower, I do my posture exercises. I'm really trying to work on my posture, which is horrible, as you know, by watching any of these videos. I do my posture exercises, and then I get in the shower. And when I get in the shower, I meditate through the shower. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by meditating through the shower. It's not anything intense. I literally just try not to think about anything. As a thought comes in my head, I picture myself literally in this, like my head is up in the sky. I picture myself as my head up in the sky, blue sky all the way around me, and nothing except blue sky. I'm not thinking about anything. A cloud comes in, and that's a thought. A thought enters my head, and you have an option to latch onto that thought and go down that thought rabbit hole and think about it and stress about it and worry about it, or you can just let it pass like a cloud. So what you got to do is picture a thought like a cloud, and just let it move right through. So I do that while I'm in the shower. I get out of the shower, I do my stretching exercise, wind down a little bit more with my wife. I use what I call a Theracane, which is a green stick that allows me to get some leverage. In the show notes, I'll link to all this stuff. It allows me to get some leverage and massage my upper back. So I put a lot of pressure on my upper back and shoulders, and that reduces a ton of tension, relaxes me even further. Then I do about a 5-minute stretching routine, touch your toes, stretch my hip flexors, my glutes, my back, and then I'm down. I hit the pillow and I meditate again. And that's when I do the same thing. My head's up in the clouds. Clouds are thoughts, and it's practice. And it works. And I go to sleep fairly quickly if I do all that right. I also keep a notepad by my bed so that if a thought does come up and I'm thinking about worrying about it, I roll over, write it down, and go back to sleep, or go back to thinking about nothing. So that works really well for me. And again, that's not an intense type of meditation. I forget where I learned about that. I read it from somebody else. It wasn't my idea, but it works really well for me. It allows me to literally shut off my brain, and it takes practice. I mean, I've literally tried to do this for 40 minutes straight, and when I'm stressed, when business does catch up with me, it just takes practice. You just got to keep practicing this over and over and over again, and it'll start to work. So that's it. I'm out for the night. So in the morning, my alarm goes off at 5:30. My son usually wakes up at 6:30, between 6:30 and 7. So my alarm goes off at 5:30. I go straight into my workout. By 6 p.m., if it's a weight training day, by 6 a.m., I'm done. If it's a cycling day, by 6:15, I'm done and showered. And I come downstairs to where my computer is, and I start to write. That's where I have a Cliff Bar, I have more water, and I eat my Cliff Bar, I drink more water. I always have another one of these 32-ounce glasses of water first thing in the morning before I have my coffee. That helps a lot. And then I get ready and go and start writing. And then my son wakes up, I bring him downstairs, he plays in the living room while I continue to write. So that's it. That's the basics of my morning routine. Obviously, I cannot do that every single day. I got kids, I have a life, I travel. I do what I can, and I use bits and pieces of that. If you can take anything away from this, if you want to try bits and pieces of this and find out what works for you, number one, put your phone away. Put your phone away and prepare for the next day. Prepare your mind for really good sleep and prepare for your morning routine. Okay, then wake up and exercise. First thing, wake up, exercise, set it up so that you can go through the motions with absolutely no friction. Literally, your workout clothes are ready to step into the second your feet hit the ground. Number three, write and journal and problem solve and brainstorm with a clear, open mind before you have any input from email, text, whatever. The last thing, turn back on your phone and go about your day. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for listening, as always.